911, what's your emergency?
There's a body in my truck. I swear to God, I don't know how it got there.
Sir, do not touch anything. Stay exactly where you are.
But I think I know this person.
That call came in at 2:47 a.m. on a freezing Tuesday night from the shoulder of Interstate 40, 6 miles east of Amarillo, Texas. The caller was Eddie Voss, 43 years old, a long-haul trucker who had spent 19 years hauling frozen goods across the country. Eddie was the most ordinary man you could imagine. Same diners, same gas stations, same phone call to his wife every night at 9. Not a single mark on his record. And yet, on this night, Eddie was standing in the glow of his taillights, shaking, staring into his open trailer where the body of a young woman lay twisted between pallets of frozen chicken, her skin violet, her eyes still open, and a deep, clean cut running from her left ear down to her collarbone. Now here is what made this case terrifying from minute one. That trailer was sealed, locked in Memphis before Eddie left. He had the only key. No signs of forced entry, no broken seals. So the question that would haunt every detective, every officer, and every journalist who touched this case was simple. How does a dead body end up inside a locked trailer that rolled 800 miles across 3 states without anyone noticing? First responders arrived in 14 minutes. She had been dead for hours. Rigor mortis had already set in. The wound on her neck was not messy, it was precise, the work of someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Officers sealed the scene, sat Eddie in a patrol car, and asked him the same 5 questions over and over. His answers never changed. But nobody believed him, because in their experience, the person who finds the body is usually the person who put it there. By morning, the case landed on the desk of Detective Ray Callahan, a 22-year veteran of Amarillo PD who had closed 46 homicides and had a reputation for one thing: he did not sleep until the case was closed. Ray drove to the impound lot and climbed inside the trailer himself, water dripping from thawed cargo, evidence markers on the floor. He crouched where the body had been and studied every inch. No drag marks, no shoe prints, no fibers. Whoever placed this woman here carried her in without touching a single surface. That kind of precision does not come from panic. That comes from planning. The victim was identified by noon. Natalie Benson, 23, nursing student at the University of Memphis, reported missing 4 days ago by her roommate, Claire Duvall. Claire told Memphis PD that Natalie went out one evening to meet someone she had been talking to online and never came back. She described Natalie as smart, careful, the kind of person who shared her live location before going anywhere. But Claire also said something that made Ray pause. In the weeks before she vanished, Natalie had changed. Secretive, guarded, deleting messages, coming home at strange hours, refusing to explain. And then Ray found the detail that turned this entire case on its head. Natalie's last message to Claire, sent at 8:14 p.m. the night she disappeared, read, "Meeting Jay tonight. If I am not back by midnight, call someone." Claire saw the message, read it, and did absolutely nothing until 18 hours later. When Memphis PD asked why, Claire said she fell asleep. But Ray Callahan had been doing this long enough to know that nobody sleeps through an 18-hour window when their best friend sends a message like that. Claire was hiding something. And whatever it was, Ray was going to find it. He pinned Natalie's photo to his board, picked up the phone, and called Eddie Voss, who answered on the first ring like he had been holding the phone for hours. "Ray, Mr. Voss, Detective Callahan, I need you in my office tomorrow morning. We are walking through your entire route, every stop, every mile." "Eddie, Detective, am I a suspect?" Ray, everyone is a suspect, Mr. Voss." That is how this works. Ray hung up, spread a map of I-40 across his desk, and started circling every rest stop, every gas station, every exit between Memphis and Amarillo. Somewhere along those 800 miles, someone loaded a dead woman into a sealed trailer, and Detective Ray Callahan was going to find out who, even if he had to drive every single mile of that highway himself. But what Ray did not know yet was that the answer was not on the highway. It was not at a rest stop or a gas station or a truck stop diner. The answer was sitting in an office 12 feet from the loading dock, where Natalie's body was placed, hiding behind a clean record, a family photo on the desk, and a second key that was never supposed to exist. The next morning, Eddie Voss sat in Ray's interview room for 2.5 hours. And here is the thing. His story was bulletproof, not rehearsed bulletproof, but real bulletproof. Every gas receipt matched, every security camera confirmed his face, his truck, his plates. Every timestamp lined up perfectly. Eddie Voss was either the most careful killer in Texas history, or he was exactly what he looked like. An ordinary man who opened the wrong trailer at the wrong time. Now, most detectives would have kept squeezing Eddie, pushed harder, waited for the story to crack. But Ray Callahan was not most detectives. He had learned something a long time ago. The loudest suspect in the room is almost never the most dangerous one. The dangerous one is the person standing quietly in the background while everyone else panics. So Ray let Eddie go and turned his attention to the one thread nobody had pulled yet. The mysterious J. Memphis PD had recovered text messages between Natalie and someone using the name J. Claire had. Screenshotted them weeks before Natalie disappeared because, in her words, something about those messages felt wrong. And she was right. The early messages were light, flirty, harmless. But within 2 weeks, Jay became possessive, demanding, asking Natalie where she was, who she was with, why she had not replied in 20 minutes. Natalie pushed back at first. Then slowly, she stopped pushing back. Her messages got shorter, more agreeable. And that pattern told Ray something critical. Whoever Jay was, this was not his first time controlling someone. Ray's tech team traced the number. Prepaid burner, bought with cash at a Walmart in South Haven, Mississippi. No name, no usable camera footage. Dead end. But one of the messages from Jay included a photo, not of a face, of a parking lot, empty, at dusk, with a loading dock in the background. Ray's team ran it through geolocation software and matched it within hours. That parking lot belonged to Delta Regional Cold Storage in Memphis, the exact warehouse where Eddie's trailer was loaded the morning before he left. And that is when this case cracked wide open. Ray called the warehouse manager, Dale Hutchins, and asked one question. How many keys were made for Eddie's trailer lock? Dale checked the records. The answer made Ray's jaw tighten. Two keys were made. One went to Eddie. The second went to the dispatch coordinator who managed Eddie's route, a man named Marcus Tate. Now you need to understand who Marcus Tate was, because on paper, he was the last person on earth you would suspect. 38 years old, married 12 years to a woman named Sharon, 2 kids. 10 years at Delta Regional, worked his way up from dock loader to dispatch coordinator. Quiet, dependable, clean background check, spotless reviews. His coworkers described him as boring in the best possible way. He was invisible, and in Ray Callahan's experience, invisible people are the ones you need to watch the closest. Ray pulled the warehouse security footage from the night before Eddie's departure. For most of the night, the loading dock was empty, but at 11:40 p.m., a figure appeared. Hoodie pulled low, dark pants, gloves. The figure moved quickly, but calmly, the walk of someone who knew exactly where every camera was. They approached Eddie's trailer, unlocked it with a key, disappeared inside for 7 minutes, came back out carrying nothing, relocked the door, wiped the handle, and vanished into the darkness. 7 minutes. That is all it took to place Natalie Benson's body inside a trailer that was about to roll 800 miles west. 7 minutes to turn a shipment of frozen chicken into a crime scene that would cross 3 state lines before anyone found it. Ray watched the footage 5 times. On the 5th viewing, he caught it. The detail that broke this case. The figure used their left hand for everything. Key in the left hand. Lock turned with the left hand. Handle wiped with the left hand. Every single motion was left-hand dominant. Ray opened Eddie's file. Right-handed, every signature, every form, right hand. Then he opened Marcus Tate's employee file. Every signature, every form, left hand. But Ray was not done. He ran Marcus Tate's name alongside Natalie Benson through public records, school enrollments, social media archives, and what came back stopped him cold. Marcus Tate and Natalie Benson attended the same high school, Greenfield Academy in Collierville, Tennessee. Marcus graduated 15 years before Natalie, so they were never there at the same time. But the connection existed. Same town, same circles. Same network where everybody knows somebody. Ray now had the second key, the warehouse access, the left-hand match, the high school connection, and a figure on camera who fit Marcus Tate's build perfectly. The case was building. But it was not closed, because Marcus had an alibi. His wife Sharon confirmed he was home all night. And then, just when Ray thought he was closing in, something unexpected happened. Something that threw the entire department off balance and made everyone, including Ray, question everything they thought they knew. Claire Duval, Natalie's roommate, the woman who waited 18 hours to call the police, suddenly and without warning, hired a criminal defense lawyer and refused to answer any further questions. Now, why would a grieving roommate, a woman who had done nothing but cooperate, suddenly lawyer up and go silent? Was Claire protecting someone? Was Claire involved? Or did Claire know something so dangerous that she needed a lawyer just to survive it? That is exactly what Detective Ray Callahan needed to find out, and the answer was going to lead him somewhere he never expected. When Claire Duval hired a lawyer, the entire department was convinced she was involved. Maybe she helped plan it. Maybe she lured Natalie out that night. Maybe the whole roommate story was a cover. For 48 hours, every detective in the building was chasing Claire. Every detective except Ray Callahan, because Ray had learned something most people in law enforcement never figure out. When everyone in the room is certain about something, that is usually the moment you should stop and look the other way. Guilty people hire lawyers to hide, but scared people hire lawyers too. And there is a difference between someone running from the truth and someone terrified of what the truth might do to them. Ray flew to Memphis without telling anyone. Drove straight to the apartment Natalie and Claire had shared. Claire opened the door with swollen eyes and a coffee mug in both hands. Her lawyer was not there. Ray told her she did not have to talk. She let him in anyway. And over the next 90 minutes, Claire told Ray everything. Not because he pressured her, because she had been carrying it alone and the weight was destroying her. Claire knew who Jay was. She had known for weeks. Natalie told her one night that she had been seeing an older man, married. Someone she met through deliveries at the campus pharmacy where Natalie worked part-time. His name was Marcus. He started with small talk during supply drop-offs, then texts, then late-night meetings in parking lots. Natalie knew it was wrong. She told Claire she would end it. But every time she tried, Marcus pulled her back with promises and the kind of emotional manipulation that is almost impossible to see when you are standing inside it. Claire begged Natalie to block him, report him, walk away. But Natalie refused. She said Marcus was not dangerous, just lonely, trapped in a bad marriage. And Claire backed off because Natalie was an adult, and Claire did not want to push so hard that she lost her best friend entirely. The night Natalie disappeared, Claire got that final text. Meeting Jay tonight. If I am not back by midnight, call someone. Claire almost called right then. Almost. But she told herself Natalie was being dramatic. Another late night meeting. Another 2 a.m. return. So Claire went to sleep, and when she woke up and Natalie's bed was still empty, she did not call the police. Not because she was guilty, because she was paralyzed. Because she realized she had been given a warning and she chose to ignore it. And if something happened to Natalie, Claire would have to live with that for the rest of her life. That is why she waited 18 hours. That is why she hired a lawyer, not to hide guilt, but to survive it. Then Claire said something that locked the entire case into place. Natalie once mentioned that Marcus used to joke about the trailers at his warehouse. He called them vaults on wheels. Sealed shut, no windows, no cameras inside, rolling across the country with nobody checking what was really in them. Natalie laughed it off, a dark joke. But sitting in that apartment now, with Natalie's shoes still by the door, it did not feel like a joke anymore. Ray flew back to Amarillo that night. Next morning, Marcus Tate was brought in. He arrived in a pressed shirt, clean-shaven, calm, the picture of a man with nothing to hide. Ray asked him where he was that night. Marcus, home with my wife, all night. Ray, what time did you get home? Marcus, around 6, did not leave. Ray, your wife can confirm? Marcus, ask her yourself. Ray nodded, and then he played his card. He asked Marcus to consent to a review of his home security cameras. Marcus did not flinch. Said, of course, nothing to hide. But here's the thing about people who plan meticulously. They account for every variable they can see. What they never account for is the thing they did not know existed. Marcus knew about the front door camera. What Marcus did not know was that his wife Sharon had installed a second camera, a $30 doorbell unit with a wide-angle lens covering the driveway. She bought it because the first camera did not capture where Amazon left the packages. She never told Marcus. It never came up. A $30 doorbell camera bought to track deliveries. And that camera captured Marcus Tate walking out his front door at 10:55 p.m., getting into his car, and returning at 1:30 a.m. wearing different shoes. When Ray showed Sharon the footage, she did not speak for 4 minutes. Then she broke. Marcus had told her to say he was home all night. He said the police would try to pin something on him if they knew he left. He said he just went for a drive. Sharon believed him. until she saw the shoes. Ray walked back into the interrogation room, placed the doorbell footage on the table, then the warehouse footage, then the burner phone records, then the school records, then the pharmacy delivery logs, then the second key. Marcus stared at all of it. The composure cracked, slowly like ice breaking apart on a frozen lake. Marcus, she was going to tell my wife, she was going to ruin everything. I just wanted to talk to her. But she would not stop screaming. And there it was, the full truth in 12 words. Marcus lured Natalie to the warehouse parking lot that night, told her he wanted to say goodbye. But when Natalie said she was going to tell Sharon everything, Marcus snapped. He killed her. Then, with the precision of a man who had been thinking about this far longer than anyone wanted to believe, he used the second key, opened Eddie's trailer, placed her body between the cargo pallets, sealed the door, wiped every surface, drove home, changed his shoes, climbed into bed next to his wife, and closed his eyes. He believed Eddie would take the fall. He believed the distance would erase the trail. He believed the cold would buy him time. He was wrong about all of it. Because a $30 doorbell camera his wife bought on sale destroyed the perfect crime he spent weeks building. Marcus Tate was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. Sharon filed for divorce before the trial started. Eddie Voss was cleared but never drove again. He told a reporter that the smell from that trailer never left him. Claire Duval dropped out of nursing school and moved home. She kept one photo of Natalie on her nightstand from their first week as roommates, both of them laughing at something neither would ever remember. Detective Ray Callahan closed the file, walked to his corkboard, and pinned a small handwritten note next to Natalie's photo. Not a mugshot, not evidence. Just 5 words he wrote after every case he closed. Remember the person, not the case. He turned off the lamp and walked out into the cold Amarillo night. Somewhere on I-40, the trucks rolled on, the highway hummed, and the world kept moving as if nothing had happened at all.